Jai Shri Gurudev. In this class, we will discuss about thermoregulation. In the previous classes, we were discussing the homeostasis, how the animal maintain their body fluid concentration, the temperature or the glucose concentration in their blood. Likewise, in this class, we will discuss how the animal regulate or changes its body temperature according to the environmental temperature. That is known as thermoregulation. Temperature means which is the degree of heat or cold. Degree of heat or cold is known as temperature. Therefore, animal maintain its own body temperature or which can be adjusted with the external environmental temperature. That phenomenon is known as thermoregulation, which is a well studied, you might have studied in the chemistry classes, which is Van 't Hoff's law. In here, zoology, we will call it as law of Q10 or Q10 effect or Q10 law, which states that for every 10 degree raise in temperature, for every 10 degree raise in the temperature, the rate of the biochemical reaction, almost become double. If there is increase in 10 degrees centigrade, the rate of the chemical reaction will be doubled than the previous rate, which is called as Van 't Hoff's law or law of Q10. In zoology, we will have an experiment using caterpillar moth caterpillar, which will be enclosed in a container where an ambient temperature is maintained, and the temperature will keep on increased, and the rate of the chemical reaction will be measured. Here, the rate of the chemical reaction which is occurring in the animal system will be calculated indirectly by the amount of oxygen consumed by the caterpillar. So, amount of the oxygen consumed means that much the biochemical reaction occurred in the body. Therefore, the caterpillars are enclosed in a container, and initially there will be temperature maintained at a 10 degrees centigrade, and later the temperature will be keep on increased, and the amount of the oxygen consumed will be measured. On that basis, the graph will be obtained like this. Initially, the graph is a flat, that is the oxygen consumed is steady and stand up. And when the temperature is raised to 20 degree, from 10 to 20 degree centigrade, the rate of the reaction increases to double, that is, which is measured in terms of amount of oxygen consumed, millimeter cube per gram weight of the animal per hour. Per hour, with the increase of 10 degree centigrade, 1 gram of weight of caterpillar can consume 2 cubic millimeter of oxygen. Likewise, if the temperature is raised from 20 to 30, there will be increased rate of reaction. The rate of the reaction is increasing, which is almost double than the previous one. At 20 degree centigrade, for example, the caterpillar consumes 2 cubic millimeter of oxygen per 1 hour. At 30 degrees centigrade, the same weight individual caterpillars can consume up to 4 cubic millimeter of oxygen. Suppose if the temperature is further increased to 40 degree centigrade, the caterpillar consumes about 8 cubic millimeter of oxygen, and therefore the graph obtained will be like this. And this graph clearly shows that for every 10 degree increase in the temperature, there will be a doubling of the rate of reaction. For at 10 degree, for say 1 or 0, so 0, for 20, which will become 2 cubic millimeter of oxygen consumption. At 30 degrees centigrade, which is doubled, the consumption is double than the previous one, that is 4 cubic millimeter of oxygen. At 40 degree, which is double to 8, that is previous one is 4 and double of 4 is 8, and 8 cubic millimeter of oxygen will be consumed. This is the experimental thing which is carried out in the laboratory, and which is also holds good with the statement of Wan's law, that is, for every 10 degree increase in the temperature, the rate of the biochemical reaction occur in the individual organism, which is also doubled here, which is measured in terms of oxygen consumption. In mathematically, which will be calculated using the formula Q10 is equal to K2 divided by 1 into 10 by T minus 1, where T1 is the initial temperature. The initial temperature will be calculated like this. The initial temperature for say it is 10 degree, and the final temperature for say after 3 hours with the increase of final temperature, that is 40, that is T2 is the final temperature, and K1 is the rate of the activity at a temperature T1. At temperature, initial temperature, what is the rate of reaction? We can compare with this here with 2. Initially there is 0 and later 2, and finally at rate of activity is 8. Likewise, the K2 is the rate of the activity at the final temperature, that is at 40. With this graph we can calculate that is law of Q10. So each and every organisms or the animals maintain a certain temperature range. Some of the animals maintain a constant body temperature, whereas some of the individuals will fluctuate their body temperature according to the fluctuation in the environmental temperature, and that phenomenon is known as thermoregulation. On the basis of this thermoregulation, whether the animal is maintaining a constant body temperature or which is fluctuating with the external environmental temperature, on the basis animals are grouped into two groups. One is phyclothermic animals. Another group of the animals are homeothermic animals. Let us discuss what are the phyclothermic animals. Phyclothermic animals in which the body temperature changes according to the environmental temperature. If the environmental temperature is fluctuating, the animal's body temperature also fluctuating, which means that cope up with the outer environmental temperature. If the outer environmental temperature is 30, even the animal body temperature become 30. Suppose if the environmental temperature increases to 35 from 30, the animal also increases its body temperature to 35. Suppose if the temperature goes below than that, that is for say 20 or 70 degrees centigrade, the animal also reduces its body temperature or decreases its body temperature to that 17 or 20 degree. Likewise, there will be fluctuation in the body temperature, and those fluctuations are seen in the temperature of the body with the various metabolic activities. If that kind of adaptation is seen in the animal where the temperature is fluctuating, and those group of individuals are phyclotherms or phyclothermic animals. And these phyclotherms are also called thermoconformers. Just like we were discussing the osmoconformers on osmoregulators, here it is a term thermoconformers. Thermo means which is referring with the temperature, and conforms with the external environmental temperature, and which also adjust with the body temperature, which make up the body temperature to the external temperature. Temperature is conformed with the external environmental temperature by the animal. Therefore, they are also called, phyclotherms are also called thermoconformers. In other terms, in a simpler term, you will call it as phyclotherms are called cold-blooded animals. Cold-blooded animals because suppose if the temperature is decreasing, the animals also decrease in their temperature, which are almost becoming cool, or up to 2 to 4 degrees centigrade, which can reduce its body temperature. Therefore, the animals are called cold-blooded animals. The body temperature is cooling down. Therefore, the phyclotherms are otherwise known as cold-blooded animals. Since they conform with the outer external environment, they are also called the thermoconformers. And in order to make up, suppose if the body temperature is dropping down, in the next level the body temperature must be increased. For say, if the external temperature increases to 40 degree, if the animal's body temperature is 30 degree, 10 more degrees of temperature must be increased. Therefore, these animals depend on other outer sources, outer sources in order to, for say the sun, heat of the sun, the temperature will be, radiation will be absorbed by the animals and temperature of the body will be increased. Therefore, which depends on the external source in order to increase their temperature. Therefore, they are also called ectothermic, which will be dealt in the later classification. This type of temperature fluctuation is seen in almost all the animals except in birds and mammalian system, with the few exceptions in birds and mammals. All other invertebrates, pisces, amphibia and reptiles show this type of regulation phenomenon, that is phyclothermic animals. The next category of the animals are the homeothermic animals. That means here the body temperature remains constant irrespective of the external environmental temperature. If the external environmental temperature goes behind 40 degrees centigrade, even in that case the body temperature of the animal remains constant, as in case of human being, which is 30 degrees centigrade. Suppose if the environmental temperature goes below the 37 degree for say 20 degrees centigrade during the winter, even though the body temperature of the human being or any other mammalian or avian system maintains constant body temperature, and those group of individuals are called homeothermic animals. These homeothermic animals are also called thermoregulators. Just like thermoconformers, here it is thermoregulators because which regulate its body temperature at a constant standard range. That is 37 degree means 37 degree irrespective of the fluctuation in the environmental temperature. Therefore, which is having the ability to regulate its body temperature at a certain temperature degree centigrade. Therefore, they are called thermoregulators, which can regulate its own body temperature. Simply, they are called warm-blooded animals because suppose if the external environmental temperature goes below the body temperature, that is in the cooling temperature, the animal maintain its body temperature at warmer condition. The body temperature remains warm even though the external environmental temperature is below the body temperature. Therefore, they are called warm-blooded animals in simple manner. They are called endotherms. Phyclotherms are called ectotherms, whereas the homeotherms thermic animals are called endothermic animals because they generate the heat in order to maintain, they generate heat in order to maintain constant body temperature. In order to maintain constant temperature, there will be various metabolic activities is taking place, various jerking movement of the muscles, any other metabolic reactions will be there which liberate some amount of the heat, and that heat will be utilized for the maintenance of constant body temperature. Therefore, which can generate heat or the temperature within the system itself. Endo means within. Therefore, they are called endothermic. This is on the basis of phenomenon of the regulation of how they regulate whether constant body temperature or the fluctuating body temperature. They are cyclothermic or homeothermic. On the basis of source of heat, on the basis of source of, as I was discussing in the last point, that is ectothermic and endothermic, on the basis of source of heat, from where they obtain heat, on the basis animals are categorized into three categories: ectotherms, endotherms and heterotherms. We were discussed ectotherms and endotherms, which mean endotherms are the animals which depend on other external sources for the heat. Best example is sun radiation. These ectotherms or the cyclotherms or the thermoconformers, in order to increase its body temperature to cope up with the external environmental temperature, they depend on external source. Therefore, ectotherms, external source like sun radiation. Best example is basking. Many of the reptiles like snakes and lizards, they expose themselves during the daytime to the sun radiation in order to increase its body temperature. That kind of behavior is known as basking. Expose the body surface to the sun radiation and absorb some amount of the heat and cope up with the external environmental temperature. In that case, the source of heat become the sun radiation. That sun become the source for the animals, and those kind of individuals or the group of animals are called ectotherms. The similar way, some are called endotherms. The homeotherms are called endotherms because they can able to generate heat within the body. As I told you before, within the body there will be various metabolic activities will be seen, during which some amount of the heat will be generated, and that heat is absorbed and conserved to maintain constant body temperature. Therefore, they are called endotherms. They generate heat within the system itself. They do not depend other sources for the heat generation. They are called endotherms. The other category of the animals, exceptional category of the animals, are called heterotherms. Heterotherms, hetero means different. That means these animals access ectotherms as well as endotherms, which means at some point they become just like the ectotherms. That means they absorb heat and fluctuate the heat with the external temperature. At some point or some seasonal time, they access endotherms which can generate its heat, and those which show two types of behavior just like the ectotherms as well as endotherms, and therefore they are called heterotherms, like python, camel, hummingbird, etc. They are penguin, they are called heterotherms. heterotherms. Once again, heterotherms are again divided into two categories: temporal heterotherms and regional heterotherms. Temporal heterotherms means the body temperature varies at different seasons. Body temperature varies at different seasons. There will be different seasons in which at one time, winter time there will be a lesser temperature. During summer the temperature is rising. At these two different temperature, body temperature is varying. The best example is camel. During the hot sunny day, the camel absorbs excess of the external sun radiation and increases its body temperature above the level of 42 degrees centigrade during the daytime, and during the night time which cools its body below the normal body temperature, even up to 21 degrees centigrade, which can cools up. Two different seasons, day and night, there will be fluctuation in the environmental temperature. With that, the animals also fluctuates its body temperature, just like the ectotherms, which absorbs the heat from the external sources and which raises its body temperature even to the atmospheric temperature range, and during the night time which loses its body temperature and cools its body up to 21 degrees centigrade. Therefore, this fluctuation will be there. Even the camel is a homeothermic animal or a mammalian system, and in order to raise its body temperature there will be a metabolic activity. Ectotherm absorb the heat from the external sources, just like the endotherms which can generate to increase the body temperature. Therefore, they are called temporal heterotherms. The body temperature vary at different seasons. Regional heterotherms are the animals where body temperature vary in different regions of the body. Different regions there will be different temperature is maintained. At the head portion there will be one temperature, and internally at the digestive system or some other system there will be other temperature. At the appendages the temperature is varying in the same individual. Temperature vary in the different regions of the body, and those are called regional heterotherms. The best example is the penguin. The body temperature is lesser than the temperature of the appendages or the foot or the leg of the penguin maintain a higher temperature. In that region the temperature is high, whereas the animal body temperature is lesser to that of the temperature in the leg. In order to, because if the temperature is less in the individual appendages which walks over the ice, there will be chances of freezing out and stuck with the ice. Therefore, the maintenance of high temperature will make the animal to walk easily. That is the reason that there is a regional temperature vary in that particular animal. And these three categories are on the basis of source of heat. The obtaining of the heat, whether it is from external source, ectotherms, or which can generate its own body temperature, endotherms. Suppose if the animal shows two behavioral changes which acts as ectotherms as well as endotherms, then which is called heterotherms. Suppose if the body temperature vary with the varying seasons, then they are called temporal heterotherms. If the body temperature or the temperature is vary with the body parts of the same individual, then it is called regional heterotherms. Let us discuss a very interesting topic, that is hibernation and estivation. Hibernation, in Latin, hiberna means winter. Some group of individuals undergo dormancy, a state of inactivity, to escape from excessive cold. Dormancy, state of inactivity. The animals will become inactive during the winter season in order to escape from the excessive cold. What for this behavior is shown by the animals means during the winter season there will be scarcity for the food. There is a shortage for the food. Food availability is limited. Suppose if the food is available also which needs high metabolic rate, that means the heat must be there in order to metabolize whatever the food is eaten by the animal. One is the food shortage, another one is if at all if the food is available for the digestion of the food, in order to obtain the energy there must be very high metabolism needed. If this is not met, food is not met or metabolic rate is not met, animal will undergo initially starvation, and starvation leads to the death of the individual. For this matter, the animals show some behavioral changes in them. In order to overcome this problem of a shortage of food or the increased metabolic rate, to overcome this problem during the winter season, they go inactive state, the state of dormancy during the winter, which is known as hibernation or winter sleep. During the winter season, animals become inactive, dormant. All the metabolic activities are halt or reduced, which is known as winter sleep. Some of the insects or the smaller individuals during the winter season to overcome this problem, to escape from the cold, excessive cold, they remain in the crevices or under the rocks, or some they conceal in the burrows. They remain inside these cavities or the rocks, under the rocks to escape from the cold. That is one behavioral thing. In toads and frogs, they remain in the solitary burrows. Solitary and single burrows. In the they go under the rocks or wooden anything. They make a simple burrow, and in the tunnel a solitary single burrows, they remain in that in order to escape from the excessive cold. They remain in that solitary burrows. And many of the reptiles show behavior like aggregation. During the winter season they aggregate, the reptiles aggregate under the rocks in a group, in the colony. Therefore, they can maintain a certain temperature in that particular area and overcome this particular problem. In aquatic turtles, they bury themselves under the mud. In the mud they bury and they respire with an external certain opening. And during this, they do not feed at all. The animals, they do not. Suppose if they are fed, that must be digested. That means a metabolic reaction must occur. For that, temperature is necessary. Therefore, they do not feed. Rather, they starve during this time. In that time, in order to survive, they utilize the reserve food, that is glycogen. The stored glycogen will be utilized, or if that is not there, the reserved fat will be utilized. Adipose cells will be activated, and that will be converted into glucose by gluconeogenesis process, and muscle proteins also will be converted into glucose. A small quantity of energy is utilized from the reserve food till the favorable condition retain. And in order to maintain that low level of metabolic activity, there will be rate of respiration is lowered. decreased rate of respiration rate, as well as the heartbeat rate also reduced. There will be few beats per minute. In a normal condition, there will be increased heartbeat rate. During the winter sleep, they show a few heartbeats. With all these behavioral as well as anatomical or physiological changes which the animals can overcome that particular season, in the next season they will go for growth and the reproduction, thereby which will increase its colony or the population. This is the hibernation, which is otherwise known as winter sleep. Another concept is estivation. Some other group of individuals or undergo the dormancy, state of inactiveness during the summer in order to escape the hot scorching heat of the sun. During the summer, this behavior is showed by the animals, that is known as estivation. In a Latin, estiva means summer. For example, snails remain in the cool or shady places during the summer, and there will be mucus secretion over the body and which avoid the desiccation of the animal, and during the summer which tend to move to the cool or shady places like under the rocks or blocks or any crevices, and they secrete thin membrane. The snails remain in the calcareous shell, and which will enter into, which will retract into the animal will be retracted into the shell, and the mouth of the shell will be concealed or closed by secretion of thin membrane, and that particular secretion is known as epiphragm. Therefore, the animal's moisture content will not be escaped out of the shell. And the best example for the estivation is lungfishes or the dipnoi. Dipnoi or the lungfishes, they burrowed during the summer season in the water body will dry up. The water body dry up, there will be no water. During that, in the moist mud, they form the burrows or the tunnel. Inside the burrows, the animal will remain, and there will be a tunnel with a small opening which communicate with the outer external atmospheric air, through which the animal respires. And in the burrow is made out of slimy mucus content, the cocoon of slime. Inside this slimy cocoon, the animal remains, and from the burrow there will be a smaller tunnel which communicates with the upper surface of the mud, that is outer external atmospheric air will be respired through this tunnel by the animal. Suppose if the favorable condition, that means if the water body is filled with water during the rainy season, this animal comes out of this cocoon and they will go for a normal life, that is reproduction and growth will be there. The estivation is also seen in lower forms like amoeba and molluscans. They form a cocoon or the encystment in case of amoeba. All the animals, the amoeba secrete a cyst around which the capsule like structure, and within which they undergo endomitosis process, and a small amoeba will be, miniature of the amoeba will be present in the cyst, and once the favorable condition is returning, the cyst will be burst open and numerous amoeba will come out. And once again, if the favorable condition has end up and the unfavorable condition is returning once again, which show encystment. This is how the animals cope up with their habitat or the environment by showing various behavioral metabolic changes, and this is known as hibernation, that is winter sleeping, or estivation, that is summer sleep. In the next class we will discuss how actually the heat loss takes place from the animal body, and how actually the animal gain the heat within the body or from external sources. We will discuss about in the later classes. Thank you.